Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. It's Friday, it's time for the weekend, it's time for the Cellar Weekender. That's right, Newcastle United will play both tonight and tomorrow, and the women's play at St James's Park tomorrow for our final fix of pre-season before we take on Southampton again at St James's Park a week tomorrow. Looking forward to it. I'll be there tonight. I wanted to get into loads in this video, a bit of a preview, talk about the stack that's open. Newcastle have got a new app that's opened, but it's all going to take a bit of a second place because of some breaking news this Friday lunchtime is that Newcastle have had a second bid rejected for the Palace defender Marc Guehi. So we'll get into all of that in this video. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that button. As I mentioned, I will be there tonight. Looking forward to it. Getting to see the lads back at St James's Park is always good. And as I say, that kind of final run out before we start this season up. So as I say, lots of excitement online yesterday as Newcastle opened the new stack. I'm going to be perfectly honest. My plan tonight was to go to the stack and then go to St James's Park. So check out the vlog later on. You'll find out whether I get in or not. Because honestly, the queues yesterday for the opening from midday, the place was bouncing all afternoon. And bearing in mind, there's going to be, I don't know, did the Cellar Weekender sell out in the end? I'm not 100% sure. Close to 50,000 people at St James's Park tonight. I think the stack fits 3,000, which is still huge. Unless I get there, in 5 minutes' time, I think I might struggle to get in and have a pint. But I will give it my best shot. So as I say, check out the video later on. Regardless, it should be a good one. Good opportunity, I think, for people who are maybe slightly further afield to come over to Newcastle and get their football fix, especially as how tough it is to get tickets at the moment. And it's Eddie Howe's, I guess, final chance to decide what team he will be using in a week's time. The pre-season's been good. I think going over, there was no, I guess, Gateshead game or more local game this time round. It was Hull and then it was Japan. And really throughout the whole of pre-season, Eddie Howe has been chopping and changing his team, which is what you do in pre-season. You change things as you go. You give the youngsters a go. You want to try things out. It'll be interesting to see tonight and tomorrow as to how Eddie Howe lines up. We still, I guess, haven't seen the first 11 all on the pitch together. So now that we have the likes of Gordon back, Trippier back as well, Eddie Howe saying that, he doesn't believe Trippier is angling for a leave. Eddie Howe also did an interview talking about PSR as well, by the way, where he spoke about how he was upset to let the likes of Anderson and Yakuba Minter go, but he's pleased that he was able to keep the majority of the core squad. Bruno was on doing his interview where he spoke about the fact that he's part of the leadership group now, which is big for both Bruno and for the club. Keep a hold of Bruno as long as we can. Give him that little bit more ownership, that little bit more leadership, a little bit more voice in the team. I think it's really good for him. So it'll be interesting to see if Eddie Howe does go. I guess, I doubt we would play a first 11 for an entire match. Maybe he'll do 45 minutes of one, 45 minutes of another. And then because obviously there's 2 games back to back tomorrow, maybe we'll do same again. But it would be nice to kind of see at some stage 45 minutes of what we hope to see against Southampton. Also looking forward to see Will Asula, our newest signing, hopefully take part in some way, shape or form this weekend. Not that I expect him to play against Southampton because I imagine it will be Alexander Isak. But yes, plenty to look forward to this weekend. And as I say, I guess the final chance to brush off some of them cobwebs and see how we get on. And the app as well. I mentioned that Newcastle did launch their own app. I have downloaded it. At the moment, it is... it's good. It's kind of what you get online at the moment. They reckon there will be some exclusive content available on there too. I'm hoping that maybe it'll open up the option of Newcastle obviously have the YouTube channel where they put certain games on. They have certain games on the website. Obviously if you pay for them, could we see that available on the app at some point? That would be pretty good. But as I mentioned, in terms of this weekend, we're hoping to see Will Asula. I was hoping to maybe see another player in Marc Guehi, but as reported this afternoon, it's not quite there yet. Reports from the Daily Mail originally around mid-morning today came out to say that Newcastle had a bid rejected of 50 million for the Palace player. I'll do a bit of a run-through of where we've been and where we've got to right now. At the time of that coming out, I actually thought they were just late to the party because we've already heard that Newcastle had a bid rejected. I thought that was them just confirming that, yep, that initial bid was rejected. Everyone's waiting around to when's the second bid going to come in, when are Newcastle going to just do it. Guehi himself has been spotted at training with Palace, so as much as when I seen Adam P's video today, very, very good Bruno breaking character when Eddie Howe was asked about the transfer. Eddie Howe's going, I know nothing about it. And then Bruno over here is laughing his head off. So, yes, although we know the story of the Harvey Barnes, he was sat in the other room when Eddie Howe said he had no idea. Well, that's not the case this time because Guehi himself has been down at training with Crystal Palace. But as the Daily Mail broke it today, I thought that, to be honest, they were just kind of recapping old ground, that the bid was rejected. Well, Keith Downey and Sky Sports, as well as a few other reports, have come out and actually said that, in fact, there was a second bid from Newcastle placed yesterday, and Palace have rejected that as well. So Newcastle have now placed 2 bids for the Crystal Palace centre-back, both of which rejected. First one earlier this week was thought to actually have been around 40 million. The one yesterday thought to be 50 million. It's been quite well broadcasted or reported that Palace are looking for 60-65 million. Bearing in mind that they, I believe, have a sell-on fee they have to also pay to Chelsea. They are going to hold out for that money. Now, you can look at it in 2 ways. You can look at it in a way of, why aren't Newcastle... Well, hang on, we'll change it. You can look at it in 2 ways. Newcastle go in low. Palace want the figure they want to get to. Newcastle aren't just going to go, okay, here's 65 million. Newcastle are going to take their time. They're going to put an initial bid. They're going to work their way up. Is it the case now that Newcastle have gone 50 and Palace have gone, no, we want 65? Newcastle go back in and go, well, what about 58, 60? And Palace go, okay. And then that way, Newcastle have bided the time, they've taken the time, they've put the pressure on, and then they've walked away with a player for 5 million less, which in a fee, when there's a player costing 65 million, you know, the sake of 5 million in playing Football Manager doesn't mean much, but in this PSR world, 5 million can make a whole lot of difference. The other way you can look at it is, should Newcastle just pay it and get on with it? Because, as I say, we have our first league game a week tomorrow. It will be good to have these players rocking and ready to go. We have 3 clear positions we need to fill. The striker position in that backup future position has got Will Asula in. The centre-back looks to be Marc Guehi, which is looking closer and closer to getting done. Let's just tick it off. We still have that right winger. It would appear that Paul Mitchell, it's reported that Paul Mitchell is in conversations with the Palace director and they're trying to nail this, basically. But the longer it takes to get the Guehi one done means the less time we have to get the right winger one done. And I'm just slightly... I'm not concerned, because at the end of the day, the transfer window's not over, and there is still plenty of time. Although the season starts, the window still runs down to pretty much the end of August, so we do still have, you know, although the season's a week away, we still have about 3 weeks of the transfer window left. So if Guehi gets done, you know, next week in time for Southampton, not that I think he would start, because Eddie Howe always takes his time. Even with a £65 million striker, I think Eddie Howe would take his time. It would be good to start trying to make a move on that kind of right winger position and trying to bring someone in for that. At the same time, trying to move maybe Miggy on and pull in somebody else. So let me know your thoughts on the Seller Cup, the stack, and the app down in the comments below. Are you going to the games this weekend? Are you holding yourself off for next weekend? What have you got planned? And your thoughts on Newcastle having a second bid rejected? Are we right taking our time and trying to get him for as less as possible? Or in this kind of late stage of the window, should Newcastle just be getting, right, at least that one's done? That 5 million could be the difference between us affording the right winger we want and the right winger we don't as well. So we don't know this. We don't know the fees. We don't know the capabilities of what we can spend. I just hope that this third bid can go in and it can be ticked off in time for Southampton in a week's time, which gives us about 2 weeks to get the right winger done as well. Thanks for watching, guys. As I say, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be at the game later on, hoping to do a few videos there. So if you see us, say hello. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.